like bullets, babes, and boobs and beers, long ass mullets and Norris's beard. Kicking ass and getting it done, and ending every catchphrase with a click of a gun. If you like hand grenades and ninja stars, taking out henchmen and finding bars, big rabbit dogs and haunted cars, we're talking about keeping life rated R. Keeping life rated R.
If it had a mind, you could reason with it. If it had a body, you could shoot it. If it had a heart, you could kill it. Now, man is no longer the supreme being on this planet.
The organism is growing at a geometric rate. By all accounts, it's at least 1,000 times its original mass.
Nobody believes me about what happened tonight.
What did happen?
You were there, you saw.
Plasmic life form that hunts its prey. Predator.
I want that organism alive.
I think you ticked it off.
The Blob. Terror has no shape.
Hey, what's up, horror fans, horror freaks, geeks, nerds, dweebs, turds, basement dwellers, and of course, all you mouthbreakers out there. How's it going? Welcome to the RA Horror Commentary Podcast. Tonight, we're going to be doing The Blob from 1988. That's the Blob remake by Chuck Russell. I love this movie. I think it's probably in the top 3 body horror movies, and I always just kind of popped in my head to be like a fun movie to do at this time of year. And with me, co-hosting tonight is going to be Nik Uttam, who hasn't been here in quite a while, man. We haven't done a show in like 8 months, man.
Yeah. It's been a long time, because of what's been going on in the world. So,
dude, there's just so much distraction, and fucked up things happening, and like, summer flew by, and I was like trying to think of somebody to get on to do the show, and I was like, man, and Nick hasn't been around for a bit, so I was like, I think Nick would be a good candidate for the Blob. So,
yeah, dude.
Thanks for being here, dude.
Dude. Yeah. As soon as you said the Blob, I was like, yes, let's do that because I love this movie. I think it was one of the first, I guess, body horror kind of movies I saw as a kid.
Yeah,
my mom let me rent it because she didn't really care too much.
Yeah,
but,
I think it's not. I think it's probably less offensive to a mom in the '80s than say like a Freddie, Michael, Jason, or like Friday the 13th or something. It's got nudity and extreme violence and stuff. Like this has some gore in it, but it's not like human to human sort of. Well, there's a little bit of that, I guess, but mostly it's just a monster movie. So yeah, I think this is on like TV a lot.
Yeah, dude. I think it was always. I would always see it on like TNT or TBS, like around the week or whatever. They'd always have it on at night. It was edited, but it was still like there wasn't much to edit from it.
Right.
So it's still pretty good, still pretty solid.
Yeah, I think there's only mild bad language in it. I think Shawnee says like shit like one time in the movie, and like. The blood is very minimal. So it's a TV friendly. I wonder, it'd be interesting to watch a TV cut, from like years ago, just see what they do to it. But no, man, such a fun movie, such a fun creature feature. I actually like the original 1958 version with Steve McQueen. I like that movie too. It's just that you have to shift your mind, the way you perceive, because like this movie is just, all about 80s really, awesome special effects and stuff.
Oh yeah.
The 1958, is kind of like your classic B- movie from that era where, you know, it leaves a little bit to be desired, but it was, you know, a decent movie for the time. So, but I still enjoy seeing Steve McQueen on scene, and you know, it's just like when you watch like The Fly, you know, and the original Fly, and then the reboot with the Cronenberg reboot with
with Jeff Goldblum.
Goldblum, yeah, and that's probably in the top 3 body horror. I think it goes The Thing, probably Fly, and then this would come in third on the list, I think. So, but anyway, yeah. So, this is my preferred, the Blob version, but the original 1958 version is really good too. So I'd recommend checking that out. But this is such a fun movie. It's definitely been floating around, like, you know, the short list of like movies to do in this channel to kind of break away from, you know, the main franchises a little bit. It's really a bummer they never made a sequel to this movie, you know?
Yeah, it's funny because I know they made a sequel to the Steve McQueen one. It's called Beware Blob. It was like 1972, and that one I think they have,
which I haven't seen.
Oh yeah, it's
it's garbage, right?
Oh yeah, it's something, man. It's something. It's hilarious because like the Blob is just like red Jello they made. It's like stuff. Yeah, it's really bad. But even then, I think they like extracted from Antarctica and they put it in the first one in 58, and something happens and it comes back. I mean, it's a whole weird thing, and it's crazy, a
little convoluted or something.
Yeah, it's nuts. I like this one more because, you know, like the government's involved. It's this crazy conspiracy in a small town in the middle of nowhere, and you're, you know. It's a little bit more fun and exciting for me for this one. Like they combined all those elements into a nice you know, remake. And, you know, it's done far enough after the 58 version to where it's like, okay, this is fine.
It was like the 30-year like you know, anniversary, you know, 58 to 88. So it was a good span of time, and it was due for an upgrade. So, you know, it was the perfect timing for it, I think. So, yeah, let's get going. I can't wait to get into some of Kevin Dillon's perm mullet and
oh god.
Fucking check out this fucking bowl of cherry jello fiasco creature feature from 1988. So we got it queued up on the TriStar Pictures logo. It's 15 seconds in. And if you want to queue it up and watch along with us, that would be awesome. And Nick, go ahead and count it down and we'll get started.
All right, count it down from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, hit play.
Yeah. Believe it or not, dude, I do not have this on Blu-ray yet, and I need to get a copy.
Ooh, Shout Factory just did a wonderful, I think, steelbook of it in the last year or so, and yeah, it's before that I got like a bootleg one from like Disc Devil or Disc, I don't know, some crazy place, some place that did something. So
this one still, you know, fetches a decent, you know, I think it's like close to like $15 or $20, you know. You'd think it would be, because it kind of came out and then was sort of forgotten, you know, like it's not like a super popular movie by any means, unless you're a horror fan. But, you know, because I've looked at buying it, it's always a little bit more expensive than like maybe I'm willing to pay. But if it's like a nice steel book, I'd probably. I mean, is there like any good special features on this?
Actually, let
Blu-ray?
me check.
I mean, it'd be really great to get like a commentary or like a doc on the special effects would be really great.
Oh, definitely. And even if we can get some footage of like the festival they do every year.
Oh yeah. I first heard about that from Cinemassacre when James Rolfe like did an expose and he went and did the thing, and I was like, oh man, so that's from the original Blob. They do it in Pennsylvania somewhere where that theater is, but this is a separate town. This is actually somewhere down in Louisiana, even though it's supposed to be Colorado.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I mean, it's still fuck, man. Pennsylvania is really close to where I live, so it'd be cool to go down there and check out that.
It seems like it's quite chock full. Bonus features, new audio commentary with director Chuck Russell, special effects artist Tony Gardner, cinematographer Mark Irwin, moderated by filmmaker Joe Lynch. Audio commentary with actress Shawnee Smith. It Fell from the Sky interview with director Chuck Russell. We have work to do. Interview with actor Jeffrey McMunn, whatever his name is. God, I can't read. Let's see. Minding the Diner, an interview with actress Candy Clark.
I love Candy Clark.
Yeah, they call me Mellow Purple. Interview with actor Donovan
Leach.
Yeah. Try to Scream interview with actor Bill Moseley. Shot him an interview with cinematographer Mark Irwin. The Incredible Melting Man interview with special effects artist Tony Gardner. Monster Math, an interview with special effects supervisor Christopher Gilman. There's so many interviews and so much stuff.
It's great. Yeah, that now that's worth like $25 for me.
From them it's $23.99. I personally I think it's worth it. It's a little high, but I mean you are getting quite a bit for that amount of money. So
yeah, I always check for horror Blu-rays under $10 on Amazon like daily, and I just I always keep my fingers crossed that it pops up in there, and it never does. So yeah, I mean I just pull the trigger on a nice steelbook of it or something, but yeah, man, it would have been amazing if they had made this 3D. Like, if they had the money to do this in 3D, then we could have gotten like a 3D Blu-ray or something. Like, because they could have done so many things with it, even with the limitations of the time. But
yeah, and I mean even with the ending of this, and you go back, and the way it ends was that I guess that priest or whatever. If they would have done a part 2, and he would have had his whole little tent thing going on over the U.S., man, it would have been interesting to see, and the way they would have done it and everything, man, it would have been awesome.
Yeah, dude, they set it up, they teed it up perfect for a sequel. And I guess they just never could find the script or the money or something. But
I'm sure, yeah.
But yeah, dude, I'll have to drop the cash for this one because I do love it. It's a big one for my childhood. So, Shawnee Smith, man, looking fantastic. She still looks really good too, man.
Yeah, I think I met her at a convention like 15 or 20 years ago, and it was like when Saw was just coming out. And
right.
I had her sign. I think it was her Saw figure. Somewhere.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, I have that sign somewhere.
Yeah, I always forget she's in like the first couple Saw movies. She's like his protege or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But she's pretty good looking. Classic cheerleader.
Oh, definitely.
I always forget Bill Moseley's in this movie, and we'll point him out later on in the movie. But
He's like one of the government dudes, I guess, towards the end. So
yeah, and the sewers like, and I never even put together that he was in this for so many years until somebody pointed it out in a review or something, and I was like, oh shit. I mean, you wouldn't necessarily pick up on it because he's got like the whole germ suit on and stuff, so it's kind of partially obscured in there. But once you see him, you're like, yeah, that's Bill Moseley and his like wacky, nutty sort of personality.
Yeah. I mean, he's like Bill Moseley looks like Bill Moseley. Like you can't really like you kind of know what the man looks like. He looks
right. He's wacky, but
definitely.
Yeah, and so we got Kevin Dillon, Matt Dillon's brother. You probably know him from Entourage. But he's supposed to be 17, I think, in this movie. Because later on they point out that like the sheriff says, oh, you're having a birthday soon. That means Norbert Juvie Hall. And I'm like, this motherfucker's supposed to be 17. I was like, oh, give me a break. But I guess technically, because he's talking to Meg, and Meg, oh, you never talked to me in high school, and they're technically still in high school here, so yeah, he would be 17, but I think he's like 23 when he made this movie. So, but Kevin Dillon, I like the dude. I think he, he's a good actor. He's interesting, sort of like, I don't know, personality about him, way about him, but and he's a far cry from the manliness, if you will, in quotation marks, of Steve McQueen. But what the fuck were they thinking with the perm mullet, man? Like,
yeah, it was awkward. I guess they wanted him to look like a badass in like the country or something. So like, yeah, we'll give you the perm mullet and the shirt and the jacket. You'd be fine. Your look doesn't really matter.
I'm sure he was not feeling that perm mullet at all, dude.
No. Sure wanted to shave that thing off immediately.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think it would have been better if he just had like a regular haircut,
Oh,
but
definitely.
I don't know. It's part of the personality of the movie, so at this point, you kind of just accept it. But here's Candy Clark, and I really love her because I love American Graffiti, and in that movie, she plays Debbie, Toad's like, would-be girlfriend or whatever.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah.
She's like, oh, I just love Tuck and Roll upholstery, tuck and roll
God.
upholstery. And yeah, because she's got that wig on and stuff.
That's why. That's okay. Yeah, now it makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And of course, this is, about 10, 15 years later or something, but she still looks totally gorgeous with that fucking magnetic smile and stuff.
Oh,
but,
definitely.
I never knew that was Candy Clark playing the waitress here. Just never recognized her. And when I rewatched this, her name was in the title, and I was like, Candy Clark's in this, like, and she's got her name like on the main credits. So I was like, what role is she playing? And in a minute, I saw her on this role and playing the waitress. Like, yep, that's her. That's Candy Clark. But it's too bad she didn't really do a whole lot with her career. Like she kind of did some big things, but not a lot of them. But she's a good actress.
Cause she's pretty talented. So.
Oh yeah.
God,
I think she does some.
God, she was in the sequel of American Graffiti. God.
Oh God, what a bomb to me! That's so sad, dude.
Oh, because I was curious when I watched it. I was like, okay, it's part 2. Let's see what this is about. And then I watched it. I was like, I got like 30 minutes in. I was like, this is really slow and depressing and boring.
It doesn't have any of the simplicity and charm of the first movie at all. None of the atmosphere, and it's like, the actors came back for a paycheck. They called it more American Graffiti, which is a weird title, I kind of feel like, but yeah, dude, that hurts to watch, and I definitely try to avoid that movie. I wonder what Lucas thinks of it. I'd love to hear his opinion. I'm sure he's probably used to his ideas being completely fucked with and bastardized, but that's pretty harsh.
Yeah, I'm sure it all started with American Graffiti 2. That's where it all started. He still didn't learn his lesson though.
Yeah, right.
Oh man.
More American Graffiti. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend. It's better to just leave it to your imagination of like what happened to those characters.
Yeah, definitely.
So Brian, our Kevin Dillon's character, wasted it, fucking wiped down on his bike, and he needs to borrow some tools from this dude. And this movie does a really good job of setting up little things that pay off later in the movie. Like, I never even really noticed that this was that snow truck in the background, because he like pulls the beers out of it because it keeps him cold.
Yeah.
Just little moments like that, kind of like that ties in big time later on in the movie. Mm-hmm. This movie does a good job doing, but one thing I really love about this movie, it's only an hour and a half. It's not that bad. Hour and 35 minutes, but the pacing is fucking solid on this movie. Like,
yeah. Oh,
it
definitely.
never drags.
The writing is solid. The execution's good. The tying of little things here and there, they did a damn good job with. The effects are great. Like, it's all around a good movie.
Yeah, like, even though the effects like are definitely starting to become dated.
Oh yeah.
Probably, quite a while ago, start to look a little dated. There's a lot of blue screen stuff in it that doesn't really look great, where they had like, wide shots where they had to get characters in with the blob and stuff, and it's just like, it's like the 80s blue screen.
Yeah.
But it's still really, really good for its time. It's like, it's a product of its time, whatever. So, I mean, shit, there's scenes in Star Wars that use blue screen stuff that doesn't hold up really that well. But
Oh yeah.
I mean, shit, half the TIE fighter scenes have a gray box around them and shit from the original. Remember that?
Yeah. Oh
I'm
god,
like-
I forget what kind of weird copy I watched a little while like a couple months ago. And you can see distinctly see even in like an HD TV, you can see that black box around. I'm just like, wow.
Yeah. You're like, yep, there is movie magic. Speaking of movie magic, this is the one effect shot in the movie that I thought was like kind of crappy because like it's this crashing satellite. It was like a man-made meteor that they put this like biological specimen, it's government created biological weapon. They put it into they cast it out into space in a man-made meteor, if you will, and it crashes back down to Earth after being gone out in orbit for however long. But that shot of it coming in as a fireball, I was like, first of all, that fucking thing is like way too slow. I wasn't really buying the flames, and then it's like it crashes like with the like it would have been like. That thing, well, you wouldn't even have been able to see it like crash, hit terra firma, man, because it would have been going so fast. But
oh yeah, true, yeah, it would have, it would have just not, not shown up properly at all. But once again, there's a movie, you got to make it a little bit believable and stuff. So I mean,
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying they should have gone for realism, but I thought the effect shot was a little weak, and then the sparks like fly up and shit.
Yeah,
but,
the sparks. Oh god.
But anyways, whatever, it got the job done. But so, this scene, the two jocks, they have they have one guy has a date tonight with some floozy or something, or they both have dates. But
oh yeah, and this is another thing you're talking about where like they tie in things from previous parts, like they were foreshadowing a lot. Where these guys are talking about condoms and they're like, oh, my friend wants it because he wants to hook up with this girl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he blames it on his friend, right?
Yeah, he blames it on his friend, really.
And you think like the gag is really that he's buying the rubbers and the fucking pastor walks up like right at the moment.
Yeah. You think that's a gag, and that's in itself that is kind of funny. But the payoff later on is even better, and it's great.
Yeah, and if one were to believe IMDb, apparently this is taken from a true story that happened to the director Chuck Russell, which is pretty hysterical if it's true. Because I could imagine going to the pharmacy, buying some rubbers, and then you find out it's like your date's dad when you go to pick her up and shit. It's like. You're totally busted. What are you gonna say? Dad's going to get the fucking shotgun. But
oh yeah. It's like how fast can I run? That's the question.
Yeah.
Oh man, that looks like the ghost stuff from Ghostbusters 2 in the bathtub.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's the ooze. It's the ectoplasm from Ghostbusters 2. Which I will be doing, I think, pretty soon on the channel. The guy who did, one of the guys I did Ghostbusters commentary for, his name's Watson. He does a couple podcasts for Horophilia. He's going to come back and do Ghostbusters 2. I think probably next month or two. But I always says such split feelings about Ghostbusters 2, man, because I love the Ghostbuster stuff. Like, I love the guys, and it's not, it has the spirit of the first movie, but they just cheated so much in that movie. Like, it's just the same movie over again, Like,
yeah.
But I'm down with it. I like it, I like the red Jello. They're eating the plate of the cherry Jello.
Oh yeah, that transition was beautiful. I mean, yeah, it was wonderful.
I'd say this movie has overtures of humor in it. It's not a comedy, but it has those moments of humor that's really good to break the tension. Mm-hmm. And the movie itself is sort of absurd, I mean, it's a creature movie, so it's like this giant fucking red blob digesting people, right in front of your eyes. dig this 80s home, dig the 80s mom. Like, she seems like she'd just be like the nicest mom ever. You know?
Yeah, and I love how those two kids like are trying to sneak into a horror movie when they go out or whatever. Like that's something I think we all did as kids.
Oh my God, yeah. I think you had to be, was it 16 or 17 to get into horror movies?
I think so.
By
yeah.
yourself, something like that. And I remember in high school there was like a local theater I'd go to. Poor Paul, but there's a local theater me and my buddy would go to that we had a friend who was an usher, and we were like 15, so we are just like 1 year shy. It's fucking stupid,
Oh yeah.
But he would always like just let us. We wouldn't even pay, just like let us in. We go see whatever. But
that's awesome.
yeah. So yeah. Paul's like the all-American, jock with a heart, handsome fellow, he's a good guy, whatever. So you kind of like led to believe that he's going to be like one of the central characters here or something. And he just gets like completely eviscerated by the Blob in like one of the most amazing scenes in any body horror movie, possibly in horror movies. Like that effect that coming up, the next like 10, 15 minutes or whatever. So awesome. But I kind of feel bad, like, that he dies because, he's not like set up as a villain or anything. Like,
no,
we don't give a
he's-
shit about the other dude who's like doing a date rape in the car. But like this guy,
Oh God, that guy. Oh, here's the payoff to that
No.
scene from the pharmacy.
ribbed. I like how that's the only word that comes out of his mouth. Ribbed. But apparently, like, he, like, Paul, I guess, like, explains the situation to him. That it was, like, his friend, the rubbers were for his friend, and his friend was being a dick and blaming him or whatever. And because they had that conversation in the car, but Paul and Meg had that conversation in the car where, it was just all a big misunderstanding or whatever. But,
Yeah.
I
also love how he's fixing his bike in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, he's got like 112 socket wrench that, like that doesn't do anything for take a bolt off and put it back on. Like, what are you fixing exactly? Are you adjusting like the handlebars? Like, really, dude? Even the wrench gets a lot of action in the movie, so I guess they needed it in there.
Must have been sponsored by
Snap-on or something.
Yeah, Snap-on or something.
Poor old man. He just wanted to collect cans, and fucking chill in the junkyard.
Yeah, and not get eaten by a space amoeba.
Talk about bad luck.
Yeah. The damn meteor nearly grazes his head, and then he gets eaten by this space goo.
Mm-hmm. She's probably thinking, this guy isn't going to try to fuck me tonight? Like, what the hell? Like,
I don't know. Maybe if she was like the preacher's daughter, that'd be more of a thing, because those girls are always down to fuck.
Yeah, I mean, cheerleaders aren't the school virgins. You know what I mean? They get too much attention.
True.
But yeah, so so they just hit the old man with the old junkyard guy with the car. I mean, they just all kind of converged together in one moment there to bring the gang together to get to the hospital, where we get one of the best scenes ever. But so Brian's character is like the rogue bad guy who's been in and out of trouble his whole life, and like his parents like kind of abandoned him or whatever. But you kind of like, they always kind of sow these little moments into the movie where like you could tell he's just like a nice guy, like he's got a heart. They kind of establish that right away, but he's just always having to like defend himself against like terrible people, all the time,
Yeah, I mean, and it seems like, it's a small town, and since he doesn't have any parents, they think he's a degenerate because of that. So, and he drives a motorcycle around. He probably doesn't go to school very much. So that because of that, they're like, "Oh, you're the bad kid. We need to watch out for you." But
yeah, he wears a leather jacket.
Yeah, it's like you wear the leather jacket and you drive the motorcycle. You're the bad one.
But yeah, So I hate people who are like this nurse, man. They just fucking disconnected from any like human kindness at all. I never noticed.
I absolutely hate people like that. Whenever you're trying to, like, even if it's a customer service desk or whatever, you're just trying to get something done. It's like, and they're just being like a total asshole because they know they have some sort of power.
Yeah. They like hate their job. They hate their life. They're like, want to make you fucking miserable. I never noticed the aces on his sleeve before. Till just now. Never noticed that.
Oh, God.
Detail. Yeah, so this guy's got like a halfway hacked off hand with a fucking acidic blob morphed onto it, and these, like, nobody gives a shit. Like, none of these, like, this hospital, first of all, has like 3 people in it, but
well, that's every hospital, every movie. You've seen Halloween too. There were like 4 people in the hospital.
Like, extras, do we need them? Nah, fuck it. Now let's put all the money into the special effects. I think they did spend a shitload of their money on the special effects. So I think it was like the movie was like 19 million, and they spent 9 of that, so like half of it almost on the special effects, and it makes sense because they. It's the best part of the movie. It's what the people expect. So,
oh yeah,
they're gonna say money well spent. But
yeah, I mean, yeah, even with the effects being dated and things like that, it's still, they're still really good, and they still match up fairly well, and it's still a lot of fun. So, I mean, yeah, of course you'd spend your money to make sure everything looked 100%.
Yeah, dude. Like nowadays, like. Speaking of special effects, like everything's so seamless and perfect most of the time and glossy, and I like seeing a little bit of the behind the curtain when it comes to old school special effects, because it's part of the nostalgia of the movie.
Oh
yeah. I kind of like that. So it's not like something an aesthetic that you can really recreate. Everything's fucking CGI now, but.
Very true.
Even when I'm watching like The Mandalorian or something, and sometimes little baby Yoda looks like a puppet. Like there's a moment where it's just a little bit puppet. I was like, yeah, I like that, because it's like that's how like Return of the Jedi was. Like everything was very, very puppeted.
Mm-hmm.
Great a scene coming up here. Something's askew. It's like nobody gives a shit. The poor guy's just laying there. Like, so where is this this doctor? I recognize this guy. Who is this?
God.
What movie is he from?
I don't know. Let me see if I can find out. Let's see. Jack Nance is his name. He's credited as just Doctor. Let's see. Eraserhead, Blue Velvet, Dune, Lost Highway, Wild at Heart. That's what's coming up on Google right now.
Yeah,
Meatballs 4?
Yeah, maybe it's Meatballs 4, dude. And I love that. I love Meatballs 4. It could be that movie.
Or Ghoulies 1.
Ghoulies, probably. Yeah. I was like, I know that face. First, I was like, that's Bill Murray's brother. I was like, nah, this is too. Because he kind of looks like him a little bit, but I was like, nah, this is too like small of a feature for Bill Murray's brother. And
yeah,
I know that fucking guy for some reason. It's just one of those character actors that pops up in a lot of movies. But this is great. So, like, Paul's reporting that the old man was killed, and to the police, to the sheriff, and meanwhile in the background, the Blob's crawling up the wall, and you can see these like little drips of acid come down on the desk, and he's just fucking doomed.
Oh God,
it's fucking great. Fucking Shawnee Smith, man. She like. Meg walks in right when he's being digested, and it's just like, my girlfriend's never seen this movie. I sent her this GIF, and she was
must
like,
have
"What
freaked
the
out
fuck?"
a little bit.
I was like, "You gotta see this movie with me sometime."
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Like just the horror, imagining being like melted from, great twitch of the hand. Love that.
The end is still bubbling because it's the acid's on there. Jeez, it's crazy. Yeah, I don't know if I should. Am I okay to ask a personal question on here about your girlfriend? Is that cool?
Yeah, of course.
Does she like horror? Do you watch horror movies together?
So my girlfriend is not really a horror fan, but I was like getting her into it. Like it's kind of like I'm like, look, I'm a huge horror dork, so this is just something you're gonna have to accept. Like you're gonna be inundated with this, quite a bit. So she's opened her mind up, and I actually showed her Night of the Demons, and she enjoyed that. She thinks that every like horror movie is gonna like terrify her. And I was like, look, there's tons of like campy horror stuff that we can watch that is more fun than it is scary, upsetting or disturbing, So I just been like easing her into it. Like we watch Ratched, and that's a pretty fucked up show.
Oh yeah.
And it's just got a lot of horror elements in it. It's very like Kubrick and Hitchcock-esque and stuff. So I was like, and she like really liked us. Like, look, if you like this, you'll definitely like, Friday the 13th or, Sleepaway Camp or something. Like that's all like fluff compared to how dark this shit is.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, in a perfect world, like she'd be a total horror dork like me. But hey, give it time. I'll wear her down over time. So.
Well, I mean, that's good. At least she's accepting of it, and you're, kind of like you're kind of just easing her into it, showing her like the schlocky, campy stuff and some of the artsy stuff here and there, and just kind of,
Well, yeah, I mean, she knows like I'm kind of a weird guy. Like, I remember the first time I brought her over here, and like I have a small apartment, and it's like comics and horror memorabilia and movies and action figures and like all that typical nerd shit. And I was like, how is this going to go over with her? Like, and she like totally accepts me for like my interests and things I like. And that's all I really ask for. And she's like really an amazing person and a lot of fun. So, yeah, I mean, I'm super like, I feel really lucky that I've met somebody as cool as she is, So, yeah,
that's
I'll
awesome, man.
I'll keep, presenting her to stuff. Now, will she ever go to a horror convention with me? I think that might be pushing it a little bit. I don't know if I'd want to expose her to that, but yeah, she's a good sport.
That's good, man. That's good. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that.
So we're missing some good parts of the movie. So this guy's a total like date rapist douchebag.
Yeah, I mean, and we just had almost like, what was it? What the hell is it? Night of the Creeps moment with the thing coming through the grass.
Absolutely. That always reminds me of Night of the Creeps, but he's basically like trying to get this chick drunk so he can fuck her in his shitty car. But to his credit, he does have a fucking kick-ass wet bar in his trunk. I was like, yeah, like I like this guy's style. Like, he doesn't give a shit at all about like, the fucking cops. Like, he's like just prepared for. He's like James Bond of date rapist or something. Like,
there you go.
He's got like so he's like, one of the things he says to the girl in the car is like, hey, he's like trying to get on her and make out with her and feel her up and shit. And she's like trying to get him to stop. And he's like, come on, I gave you my ring. Like, that means you're my girl, whatever. And then when he goes back to make the drinks in the trunk of the car, like he's got a cigar box just full of like high school rings that he must like give out to like the girl of the whatever girl that weekend he's trying to like score with. But I was impressed by that. I did like that. So he's like talking his way through essentially molesting this chick while she's passed out. He's unbuttoning her blouse. He's reaching in her shirt, but he fucking gets his, and this is a great scene too. I like this a lot. her face fucking implodes. Like,
Oh God.
and like all these tentacles come out and they just grab onto him. The Blob just gets him, and it's just like, yeah, sweet justice. But so like my question is though, is like, how did the Blob get inside her? You know, like,
How do you think?
yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what I was alluding to, because there's something wrong with her face until it implodes. So
That's very true. What is it? That was Erica Elikana. I don't know, but I remember I know she's in Baywatch for the first few seasons. For sure.
there's a couple Playboy playmates in this as well. So I'm not sure.
I think she's one of them. Was she in Playboy? Let me check.
I can't remember their names offhand, but
let's see. Yep, she was in Playboy.
there you go. Always nice to have those ladies around the set while you're making a movie, I guess. But what is it with these 80s moms always slipping their kids fucking sleeping pills and shit? By the way, speaking of, what is this shit? Hypnosil? Chuck Russell directed Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, that's probably, probably what we would know him best from. But he also did The Mask and stuff. He's done a few big features, but yeah, I think Dream Warriors, was that before this movie? Dream Warriors, because I know Nightmare on Elm Street kind of got a late start.
Yeah. Because Dream Warriors is 87.
Okay, so it was right before this. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, yeah, and Dream Warriors is solid, man. It's really fun movie, and so when you go from something that you've done really well, then you do the Blob. I mean, you're on a good path.
I think Dream Warriors is probably regarded as one of the best Nightmare on Elm Streets probably ever. One typically gets overlooked a little bit. Then people like 2 for the camp factor and the whole like weirdness of the gay overtures in it. Mm-hmm. But people seem to really like lock in on 3 as their favorite. I like 3 a little bit more than Dream Master, but I do like both those movies. But I think Chuck Russell fucking did a solid job on that one.
Oh, definitely.
Too bad he didn't do too much after this movie.
Yeah, he seemed to kind of he I guess he left Hollywood or something and did his own thing or whatever, and then he came back and did some other stuff. Oh, the rings in the goo. Oh God,
the ring didn't get digested, so it's like floating around in the Blob.
Yeah, the subtle things they do for the Blob and everything this movie is.
See what I mean? It's just like those little moments of humor that are really fun.
Oh yeah, God, they so good.
So they got Brian at the police station talking to the sheriff and the deputy, and the deputy is played by the dude. I don't know his name, but he's the guy that got like fucking pulverized in RoboCop, like by the
toxic waste.
Yeah. He's like the toxic waste system. He runs out in the street, and like the bad guy, Kirkwood Smith, fucking rams into him, and he just like ugh. By the way, Brian Kevin Dillon just licked the guy in the fucking chin.
Oh yeah,
just made me want to puke. Ugh. Could you imagine having to lick that guy's face? Gross.
Oh jeez, yeah. But that guy's name is Paul McCrane.
Paul McCrane, yeah, the melty man from RoboCop. But that was another great special effect. Well,
I mean, I think some horror shirt company did a run of just him in that moment, and that's kind of getting honored. I guess that's how you get honored these days in the old movies, is like you get a shirt line of your particular scene that people love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, he's got a good death in this movie too. It's brief, but it's fun because he's kind of a dick.
Oh yeah.
Always antagonizing fucking Brian and like quick to fucking pull his weapon and shit. I always felt bad for this sheriff though, man, because he fucking he doesn't make it to the action, man. He gets wiped out pretty early, I believe.
Yeah, and I mean, no, he's dealing with some crazy stuff right now. So
I like how Brian just fucking doesn't give a shit about her like at all. Like he's a loner, dude. He's a loner, Dottie, a rebel. Like he just he just wants to be left the fuck alone with his motorcycle and shit. He's got fucking motorcycle jumps to worry about and shit.
oh man. I'm sorry I got dissolved and, eaten alive, but I gotta go fix my bike.
Yeah, well, I mean, he didn't even really see what happened after he just bailed because he was like, these people don't give a shit, so fuck it. So, yeah, he doesn't really have a frame of reference, a context of, like, what happened at the hospital. You think she would have been like, Paul died. Like, I saw him, like, be digested by this creature, but she didn't even bring it up.
No. Well, I mean, both their nights are about to get worse. What's up?
No, I was going to say, did he say, I'm sorry about your boyfriend or something?
Yeah, he did. He did.
Or is that coming up? I can't remember. I don't have the captions on, but...
Oh, so he does go to school.
Yeah, he's, I guess, in and out or whatever. When he's not in juvie, I guess he goes to some classes, but... Don't chicks usually go for the bad boy anyway?
Well, I mean, I guess, she wanted to go for the quarterback, and that's what happened.
Yeah. Oh, Candy. I want Candy to make me a sandwich. Damn it. But she's got to wear the outfit from American Graffiti.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. Drink rum and Cokes all night.
That's the way to do it, man.
What's that pin on his... It looks like there's a little pin on his lapel. I
don't know what that is either. I was trying... It looks... I thought it was like a police pin or something because it has that weird design on it, but I can't tell.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a cop's badge, like the shield or whatever, but... Not quite. It's hard to tell what it is. If anybody knows what that is, please comment in the comments on the YouTube video so figure it out once and for all. I'm sure somebody knows, right? Yeah. Some fan probably asked Kevin Dillon or something. See, here's one of those moments where he, kind of shows his like soft side. He's a good guy. He's like, here, sit down, relax, eat a sandwich, you'll feel better. Like he's not all like it's the whole bad guy, rough guy thing is kind of his like defense mechanism, and everything. But deep down, he's just kind of a nice dude.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I mean, because they keep pegging him as the bad guy, but he's not. He's just trying to stay out of everybody's business and do his own thing.
Yeah, I'm sure they were like, oh, we got to make this guy like kind of likable, because like he's going to be the hero, one of the heroes of the movie. You got to root for the guy, so. It's good. Sometimes when they go overboard with the bad guy thing, it gets a little annoying,
Oh, definitely. Because then, because then he's too much of an asshole, and you're just like, why is he even the hero? Why? I mean, and like he goes even past the part of being the anti-hero or whatever. He's just purely an asshole, but somehow they've pegged him as being the hero of the movie, and it's like, why even do this? What are you doing?
Exactly. Have you ever seen Psycho Cop?
Oh man, it's been a long time. It's been a really long time.
I just watched it for the first time the other day. It's another 80s movie. But every single there's like a group of I don't know, like 8 people or something. They're all going on this like getaway at like a bed and breakfast or something out in rural somewhere or whatever. But anyway, the point is like every single character in that movie, guy, girl, whatever, the most annoying, whiny ass motherfucker ever, dude. I was like, there's nobody in this fucking group to like at all. Like, you hate them. They complain. They complain and they lose shit the whole movie, and it's the most nerve-wracking, annoying shit. I was like, I hate this fucking movie.
Oh my
God. The only person you like is the psycho cop, because you're like, yeah, I want you to fucking, bash somebody's head in with a goddamn billy. What do you call it?
Nightstick.
Nightstick. Yeah, please, show it all too, because I hate these fucking people. If you ever go back and rewatch that movie, it's on Tubi. I think it's on YouTube. You can watch it. But yeah, the characters, I've never seen a movie where every single goddamn character, especially in the 80s, every single one was annoying as hell. Psycho Cop pulled it off somehow, though. It's like the writer of the movie just was hating his life at the time. He just wanted to complain about everything. I'm like, these people are hanging out in this beautiful mansion with a fucking jacuzzi and a pool and beer, and they get, everything they could want. These hot girls hanging around, and they're just fucking miserable. It's like, it makes no sense at all. So this is a great scene. Love this.
I love how the drain is big enough for your hand to get into it. Like, good God.
Well, yeah, I mean, you'll always think of this scene too when you have to stick your hand into the sink to pull out sink boogers or whatever. It's fucked up, man. The Blob pulls him into the sink disposal head first, so you see his head just crunch into the size of the disposal in the sink, and it's fucking brutal, and it just pulls him down into the pipes. It's great. Can you imagine? God. The fucking pipes under the sink have this giant bulge in it.
Oh God.
What are you supposed to think in that moment? You witnessed that happen. So there's one of those weird blue screen shots where it's overhead. There's definitely a disassociation between the effect and the people, but hey, it's a little adds to the campy factor, which is fine.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
What the fuck? Go ahead. Sorry, so now I'm starting to get into the movie. Go ahead.
I love the campy stuff. I love when you get to the effects and the blue screen and all that stuff, because it's dated, but I mean, it's still fun. It's still a good time.
It's a movie of its time, and it holds up just fine. I don't know who could enjoy watching this movie.
Oh my God, I completely forgot about her death. She has, I think, one of the best deaths in this movie. It's oh man, it's really, it's not really visceral, but it's just kind of
well, it's interesting because you imagine being if you're claustrophobic, being trapped in a phone booth. Back in the day, in the 80s, there were these things called phone booths that have a payphone in them, a rotary payphone, and you get inside and close the door. In Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, now a phone booth. And I can't believe I even have to explain that now, but
yeah, we're so far removed from that.
I know. You never even see a phone booth anymore, not even down in New York City. But the Blob encases her, totally engulfs the phone booth, and she's trapped inside, and she's trying to call the sheriff, because she has this number because he wanted to ask her on a date, so she's desperately calling him for help. Yeah. And then you see that the sheriff himself is actually in the Blob. She sees him through the window of the through the glass of the phone booth.
Yeah. So he's an off screen kill.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he does not look good. He's pretty done for. Some of these shots, I do wonder how they pulled off. There he is.
His eyes still moving and everything. Oh God.
Yeah. His eyes wiggling around and shit. And they put the sheriff's badge on there just so you would know it's him. But, yeah. Oh yeah, dude. That's so eventually the Blob collapses the phone booth, and it's a down shot. You see her from their head down, and she just gets completely annihilated by the Blob. It's great. All this shattered glass and stuff.
It's awesome. I also love how they're making this freezer try to look frozen by putting all this this like ice looking stuff everywhere, but it's it just looks like icing that they put on the walls.
It looks like melted wax.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like candle wax. It looks fake as fuck, but whatever. Like
it works.
it kind of does the job. What the fuck does he think this like meat hook's gonna do against? I mean, it's a blob. Yeah, he lashes out and he attacks a can of strawberry jam or something. Another little gag.
Oh man, yeah, and his weird shirt. I don't know what's up with that, but
yeah, it's with the weird flap and stuff. Like, you think he'd be wearing like a '80s death metal shirt or something?
Yeah,
or an '80s metal shirt or something. Like
yeah, his wardrobe is all over the place. What's going on? What do you see, buddy? Uh-oh.
Yeah, he's the pastor is like walking down the street by the cafe and he sees a fucking blob go into the sewer.
I do love everybody's reaction is like, the same to it. It's like you're seeing this thing and you don't know what the hell it is and you're terrified. Yeah, it's not like it's like some movies where like in some movies, even in some alien movies I've seen recently, it's like they're not reacting. Like you're seeing aliens for the first time and you're just like, nah, it's okay. It's all right. It's like motherfucker, they're aliens.
I think in the case of a blob though, like if it's not like any sort of like humanoid thing, it's not like if you see a humanoid-esque alien, like that's more frightening because it's like, it has some sort of intention or faculties or intelligent. You see like a purple blob go down the street, like you're just like fucking scratching your head going like, what the fuck is that thing? You know, like you probably get scared pretty quickly, but still, you don't even know if it's dangerous. Like,
that's true.
But I think the pastor the priest alludes to like it being like end times or some shit. Like
yeah, that's something that happens.
I can't believe he like picks this shit up with his bare hands. So the priest, like, he goes into the cafe and of course everybody's dead and digested, so there's nobody in there. But he goes into the cooler or something, and there's like the ice machine has like bits and pieces of the blob that have been frozen off. And I guess it's like they're like little crystals, I guess it's like our first clue that how to defeat the blob, like its weakness, like it freezes the blob into these little crystals. So there's a big chance that Snowmaker might come into play a little bit later on.
Yeah, but well, once again, the subtlety, the little things you had to notice to watch it to figure out what they're gonna do at the end. It all ties together. It's all good foreshadowing. Yeah. I mean, it's just enough to be, useful. Not like nowadays where like they will bash over your head, like trying to be subtle about certain things. Like, oh, we're gonna use this later. It's like, oh, really? You don't say.
Yeah, This movie. Most of these things are so incidental that you probably wouldn't even notice on the first viewing, but it gives you breadcrumbs along the way. I said breadcrumbs. That's weird. Breadcrumbs, little clues, and it does it.
Well,
very subtly.
Breadcrumbs are the same thing. You just need a UV light. You just follow, or you don't follow where it goes, and just avoid them entirely.
Yeah, like in a nasty hotel room or something.
There you go.
There's a YouTube channel that does that. Like, it's this old dude, this like young guy, and they go around to like nasty, seedy hotels, and they bring like all this equipment, and they basically just like pull the sheets back, pull the mattress back, use the UV light, and like there's like cum and blood and piss and shit like all over everything, and like roaches, and they just like hanging out in there, like making fun of all of it. I'm like, this is a brilliant idea for a YouTube channel. Like, people love
definitely, yeah.
That's
dude,
like right
definitely.
up there with like that pimple popper doctor.
Yeah, Dr. Pimple Popper.
Some very Spielberg-esque environment shots going on out in the woods and stuff. They had to take this right out of the Spielberg playbook because it's very like ET-esque. But
Oh yeah. I mean, even with what is it? The blob coming out of the sink was very like Nightmare on Elm Street Part 1 with Johnny Depp. That's where that kind of came from. So I mean, he's pulling from certain things and stuff. So it's all good.
yeah. Yeah, no complaints here. Me and the lady, speaking of horror, we've started watching American Horror Story 1984.
Oh, nice.
We're about 3 episodes in. Have you seen it yet?
No, I missed it entirely. I'm actually gonna catch it. I'm actually gonna catch it now because I'm done watching all my other stuff. So
okay, it's on Netflix, and it's fucking awesome, dude. It's so much fun. Like they just totally hit all the 80s feels and nostalgia, and like I know that's kind of like cliche at this point, but they do it like real good, like they really like whoever wrote the show is definitely like a horror fan because you could tell that they know what makes it click or tick or whatever,
right?
And the characters are fun, and so far like everything we've seen has been just kind of hilarious. Like you'll really enjoy it. So yeah, I highly recommend that for sure.
Cool, man. Yeah, I will definitely check that out then. I'll definitely start watching that here soon.
The last couple seasons of American Horror Story have been kind of like, not really doing it for me anymore. But yeah, fucking on point this season. So yeah, check that out. But now we get introduced to the character Dr. Meadows. And I guess maybe for a minute you kind of like think he's on the good side. He actually is concerned about the people of this town. And, he's kind of like an unassuming sort of like warm character in a way. And turns out he's a real fucking piece of shit. So...
I loved this thing that happened in the movie. Like, they show you this, show you this thing happening, and you're like, what the hell's going on?
yeah, because what it does, it jumps into the movie that the kids are watching. So,
yeah, exactly.
It's like a play on Jason, and the guy's like wearing like what was that? Like that goalie mask that came out back in the day. I was just Googling it the other day, but anyway, he's got some generic like 80s, hockey mask on, and he's got like the hedge trimmer, and like some guy in the woods like making out with his girlfriend, and
I wonder if that's a real movie or if it's something that they just made for this.
Oh no, they made it for the movie. Yeah,
really?
Sure. Yeah,
that's awesome.
But yeah, so the kids snuck into the movie, and like there's some like redneck sitting behind them, like talking through the whole fucking movie. But the kid's got fucking headphones on. Like, what the hell? Like,
like what are you doing, kid? Enjoy watching a horror movie. Like you're, just enjoy it, man. The projectionist.
Yeah. I always thought that'd be a fun job, like it seems like the kind of thing I would enjoy, at least, like just, being, you don't have to deal with like coworkers being around you, and as long as you're comfortable, whatever, like, but yeah, like I always love it when horror movies integrate in real movie, like, the theater experience in with it, like Gremlins or Popcorn or whatever.
Oh God, I love Popcorn so much.
Yeah. I haven't watched that movie in quite a while.
There's a movie with Robert Englund where he's a projectionist, and they're gonna like the theater's moving to digital, and they're gonna move him out. It's called Last Showing. It's really good.
Oh shit! I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah, it's called The Last Showing 2014. Just so you know.
Okay. Yeah, this is a cool reveal too. I love those like glasses, headlamps things.
Oh, yeah.
Like that's such an 80s thing. But the yo-yo. So he's got the the yo-yo is like the ring. It couldn't be digested, so it drops down. And
Oh God.
you look up and there's like this horribly mangled face, kind of like the sheriff, just like staring back at him. And the tentacles gets the movie, but the cinema manager or whatever.
Yeah, I think they crossed one of those giant like weird trucks. The thing, like when they were crossing that scene, it was Doc Brown's truck for a second. I was like, what?
Oh yeah,
what is he doing here?
Like he's got his like plutonium stored in the back or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so it's revealed that the scientists are the bad guys, and they just went at. It turns out, I mean, they were planning to quarantine everybody, I guess, in the town hall or something, and then what? Like kill them all, or let the blob eat them, or something? Like, what was the plan? Like use them as bait to lure them, or something? Lure out the blob.
Probably, so they could capture it and turn it into a weapon.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna put us decades ahead of the Russians. Or what does he say? Oh, weeks. This will put us weeks, or I don't know, something like that. It was still during the Cold War. Look that wrench is like fucking fixes every plot problem in this movie. There's like no way that would work. Like, yeah.
And also jumping out of a moving van, that's a bad idea. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care how much trouble you're in or whatever. Like that's a risky idea.
Yeah. Hey, cheerleader, do you want to jump out of this moving van with me? Gee, it's amazing that she said no.
I got ribbed condoms. We'll be okay.
Yeah, right. Hop on the back of my broken motorcycle. But yeah, so it's kind of like interesting because like this chick essentially kind of abandons him too. So he has this moment where he's like, after he jumps out of the truck, he's kind of like, Flag. He goes, damn it, Flag, like a cheerleader, really? You know, he's kind of like, I was just starting to fall for this girl, you know, like I started to kind of have feelings for her or whatever. And she's like, I'm not going with your fucked up ass. Like, he's been so nice to her at this point. He's been like her protector, and he believed her. He gave her a sandwich. He gave her his coat. He protected her at the cafe, you know, like, you know, he's been really nice to her, and she just fucking says, fuck you. Like, you're on your own.
Yeah, she wants to go back and take care of her family and make sure everything's okay. Even though it's probably, you know, there's one bait for this thing. I love that PA. It's like there are guys in hazmat suits and guns, and like there's the thing saying there's no cause for alarm. You know what? You know, single file. It's like that should be a red flag in itself. Like when you hear those things, and you see those things, no, get the fuck out.
Yeah, I mean, do you think somebody would ask like, how come all these government like officials are wearing these like airtight suits, and we're just all out here in the open, like?
Yeah.
This is a very like good movie to watch, considering what we're going through right now.
Yeah, it is.
She just sneaks off.
Oh my god, I love this so much.
Yeah, I love it. The movie within a movie, always good stuff.
And it makes it even better that they shot it specifically for this. They only shot scenes for this.
Mm-hmm. Great stuff, man. Like the Blob in the movie theater is like classic creature feature stuff.
Oh yeah.
And like the blinking light, you know, like the strobing light makes it a really cool effect and adds to the chaos. And I was trying to figure out if that poster on the left was like an actual poster for something, but then they must.
Yeah. It's hard to see it, and hard to make it out and everything. I'm sure it's one of those things. If you watch it with the commentary, you'll know all the cool details.
I can't remember what the name of the movie that they're watching is. It's like Garden Tool Slasher or the Garden Tool Killer. That's a great shot with all the like tentacles that like literally grabbing people and like just wreaking havoc on these poor innocent people. And the
Oh yeah, here's a good one. Oh, it just
oh
melted.
yeah, yeah, that was cool.
Oh man,
Kind of reminds me of the Raft from Creepshow 2.
yeah,
Where the
yeah.
chick's
Which I
sleeping,
mean,
she-
I actually like that story. People give it shit, but like, I actually enjoy it.
The Raft.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's my favorite one out of the three. I think that's typically the horror fans' favorite. I like them all, but I think The Raft was the one that really spooked me when I was a kid. Like, first of all, it's like got a weird sexual thing happening, and then like she rolls over and her face is being eaten. She's just screaming in agony and pain, you know, and like it's just great. It's just really creepy shit. It's classic Stephen King, but
Yeah, and yeah, for me, the thing that really creeped me out was like, you know, you have that pullback shot of like the lake and the car open with the radio and nobody's there. It's like they never existed.
And there's that sign, no swimming, and
Yeah.
mucho ecological poncho.
Yeah.
This looks like the dude from Night of the Creeps, man.
Yeah, it does.
Who the fuck is that guy?
I don't know. I have
Like,
no
why is he
idea.
wearing a tuxedo? Like,
I think he was the usher of the theater.
yes, you're right. It's the brother that let him in. Gotcha.
Which I mean, like they should have given a little bit more, you know, I think screen time just to kind of know who he is, because everybody else is like, even their minor characters, they get a good amount of screen time.
Mm-hmm. Better watch out for Jason down there.
Man, part 8.
I am on team part 8. I like that movie. That was the end of the 80s, Friday the 13th, and I actually like it better than 7. You know, if you can believe that. Like,
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, 7 is odd in itself, because I mean, I think they wanted to do Carrie versus Jason, but they didn't, and they tried making their own, and it wasn't. I mean, they did an okay job. It didn't come out all that well, but I mean, it was still alright.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of part 6. I think part 6 is
Jason Lives
really
is
fun.
it's pretty good. It's I think it kind of, that was the peak. Like the peak really was 4, but 5, you know, obviously amazing for its own reasons, and then 6 was just kind of like, that was the end of the really good ones, you know. And it was like peak slasher time, and like they kind of got the formula perfect in that one, but there is some things about it that have kind of like become less appealing to me. Like I don't enjoy watching it as much as like 3 or 4, you know. I think part 5 will always be my favorite, but that's just because it caught me right at that age. But
Oh yeah.
even though it's Roy and not Jason or whatever, I don't care. Still love it.
Oh God. Yeah, I mean, well, and then you have Tommy Jarvis having, you know, flashbacks of the real Jason, because you can tell because the chevrons are red as opposed to blue, so you can kind of figure out which ones are which.
Yeah, that scene where like he has the delusions and he's like looking out the farmhouse window down into the the yard of the house, and he's standing there with a bloody axe and he's looking up at him, and like that scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. It's like one of the scariest shots of Jason in a movie. Still to this day, still like love that one good shot of Jason. But, and of course the opening sequence is fun too. But so what's happening? So we got a little exposition scene going on here where one of the scientists' cronies is challenging Dr. Meadows with a morality, saying that I just want to say I'm not cool with what's happening here. Like, you're dooming all these people to their death, and I don't want to be part of it. And so Dr. Meadows basically basically showing who he is. He's saying that these people, because we're in this Cold War, we need this weapon, and it's for the greater good. These people are expendable, essentially. And then you realize the guy's just like a fucking warmonger.
Yeah.
Probably bought and paid for. A little bit of social commentary there for the time, dominance at all costs, kind of thing.
Yeah. Government over citizens kind of thing.
The evil war machine and all that.
Yeah. Now, I mean, you have you ever seen the movie Phantoms? Like how, like it also always seems similar to this to me.
I've never seen Phantoms, actually.
If you, I would love for you to watch it because you have kind of the same feel with this movie almost. Because you have this creature and like people are just like in this town that's it's just a ghost town where all of a sudden nobody's there, but you see this these things pop up throughout the time that people are there, and it's just really, really creepy. Nobody knows what's happening or what it is or anything, and it's just like, and at some point you get like guys in these hazmat suits coming into the town, and they get taken as well, and it's a whole weird thing. I mean, it reminded me of the Blob every time I watch it. It's a much more darker movie with no levity at all, and it's really kind of terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, I know I've heard of it. I just never actually seen it. So yeah, I'll add that to my list of movies to check out. But he finally got fucking pulled as Evel Knievel and he jumped the bridge, which I don't think there's any way that could feasibly happen in any kind of. There's just no way. It's not believable. Yeah. But hey, it's a fun action sequence of the movie. Conveniently, there's a motorcycle with a human on it, perfectly sized fucking sewer tunnel placed right after the bridge.
Yeah, he must hang out a lot. That's how he knows where it is. He's like, I know how to get to the sewer. It's this way.
Yeah, these are like gigantic sewers for a fucking small town.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah. Like that's kind of the sewer inlet, whatever it is, pipe they would have for like Vegas or a giant city or whatever. But not for middle America over here.
Some like bumfuck town in Colorado.
Yeah.
But yeah, the reason why they're setting that up is because the scientists want to trap it in the sewer so they can contain it, because they want to, I don't know how they think they're going to be able to contain this thing, because they don't even know that it's the cold that, I don't know, puts it into the crystallized form or whatever. They don't even know that yet. So it's like fucking using flamethrowers on it and shit. But they're trapping it down in the sewers. And as far as I know, they're trying to cut off access to certain areas of the sewer system, right? Like, because they have a map out and they're like, oh, there's, I don't know. That's a part of the movie that doesn't really make sense, because sewers you can't close them off. Like, yeah, sure, you can park a truck tire over like a porthole, like a sewer cap or whatever, but how are they going to stop this thing from leaving out the same way that Kevin Dillon got in? You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. There's actually a scene coming up. I want your your expertise on with the when they exit the tunnel very violently. I would love to know your take on that when that happens.
So which part is that? Where they're on the bike and they get out?
No, it's the rocket launcher.
Oh yeah. I got you. He's got the bazooka, whatever. Yeah. Yeah. We'll talk about that when we get there. I feel bad for this fucking kid, man. All he wanted to do is watch a Friday the 13th movie.
But you know what? I give them kudos for that, for at least killing one kid, because I'm like, you made it more terrifying and better that way, because you didn't give any fucks. You're just like, it's going to kill everybody. It doesn't care what you are. You are going to die.
Yeah, they The Blob does not discriminate in terms of age, but you know, in the '80s, and most of the time in horror movies, they don't fuck with like kids under a certain age, you know. So
Yeah.
I mean, if you even just notice in like Friday the 13th movies, I mean, they never like kill off like kids, really, you know. This is like a full on like gore effect with a, you know, this kid's probably like what, 10 or something.
Yeah.
He's all fucked up, man. Like, I'm surprised they didn't show his like headphones floating in the Blob somewhere. But yeah, you're like, oh man, the kid didn't make it. Damn. Cool shot. That effect looks really good. Basically, at this point, the Blob looks like this giant prolapsed asshole. You know, like, it's just one giant like mouth that's just and tentacles. Looks cool. Like it.
Shawnee Smith taking charge.
Yeah, she's not your typical damsel in distress. She's it's interesting because she, you know, she does kind of start out that way. I mean, she is assertive, but you know, she definitely like leaning on Brian, you know, a little bit for protection. But at this point, she's just all up in the business, you know, like.
Yeah, and I mean yeah, and that's what I love about her character and Brian's character. They're complex. They're not they're not one dimensional, whatever.
Yeah.
They do feel like, you know, actual people. Because I mean, you know, they're not, you know, they have flaws, they have all this stuff going on, and you know, it's good to see that in a movie like this, especially an '80s movie like this.
Mm-hmm. God damn, how many levels does this fucking sewer have? I was like, oh, that's like the sewer, like great, like on the street level, and then you're like, nope, it's just another tunnel, and it's like fucking 3 stories to the sewer in this like small like Colorado.
It's like a small town.
So fucking Ninja Turtles live down there. What the hell?
Were they hoping for an expansion or something? Are they built near like a major highway? Like what's going on over here?
Yeah, cool idea. I like this thing with the motorcycle. Goes around the Blob, kind of goes up the side of the. It's a pipe, you know, a big ass pipe.
Yeah.
And they take the motorcycle up and around over. Cool little, like, you know, getaway moment. We're about to get some Bill Moseley up in this movie. Fucking Chop Top. Here he is.
There he is.
Look at that face.
He just I love Bill Moseley, but god damn it, he's got a goofy face.
Yeah. Oh, he's got a good character face, you know.
He does. He does.
It's funny because like you see him at conventions, he's like the most normal looking guy. You're like,
yeah,
that's Bill Moseley, that's Chop Top, and he's like, when he turns on the fucking acting, dude, it's like it's just a total whack job. It's great.
Oh yeah. He's wonderful. But yeah, if you see him at convention at a table, you're just like, why is a regular guy sitting at this table? Why is he marked Bill Moseley? It's like that's him. That's who he is.
Yeah, it's weird because he just looks like the most normal dude, but you know, he can like he just got great like facial expressions and stuff, and like he can do voices and.
Yeah, because I remember him doing a character in the Halston show, and he had like this thick Boston accent, you know, and I was just like, jeez. Yeah.
Oh yeah, so this is like the Raiders of the Lost Ark moment where they finally so they made it to like a hole like in the street, you know, where the sewer cap's off and they're gonna get out, and the fucking Dr. Meadows orders the sewer sealed off. He's like this fucking heartless bastard, like like it would have taken 5 seconds for them to climb out, but he's like, nah, leave them in there, you know. It's almost like it seems like he because he's more interested, like his motives is to contain the thing. Right? They're not like infected with anything, right? So
yeah, well, yeah, but like that's always his excuse. Is like, oh, they were infected, they were touched by it, you know.
Yeah, he just wants these motherfuckers to die. Like he wants it to like feed on them or something.
I guess well, it must be like probably a military thing as well, where it's like, oh, you know, it ate so many people, it's really effective. We can, like, you know, put in a report or something. Yeah, they're about to get swallowed by a stomach.
He just happens to have a bazooka in his like knapsack.
Now would this work like this? Would this actually work like
Yes.
this?
Okay. So here's a shot. Here's the scene you were talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that would. I think that's pretty sketchy in terms of like they would blow themselves up probably before they would blow the truck up. But it's a movie, so it's a convenient way to keep the plot going and rescue the heroes or whatever. I think that's a little far fetched, but
okay, yeah, because I know you're in the military and you may have used one of those or not. I was wanting to know if like what would happen if you used one of those like in a tunnel.
We didn't have bazookas in the Navy, man. Like
okay, all right.
Maybe maybe Army, maybe Marines or something, but yeah. I don't. It's still like you're gonna fire ordnance into a fucking steel lid. Like that's probably good chance you blow yourself up in that situation. So
gotcha.
Yeah, you are correct with your critique of that, but.
Okay, yeah, because even though you're in the Navy, you probably would know more than I would. So that's why I was hoping you could tell me about it.
I would have liked to have fired a bazooka. That would have been awesome, but
I love this point in the story so much.
Oh, it's a Mexican standoff, right? So
yeah, because Brian starts making really good points, and the sheriff deputy over here has to the deputy has to figure it out.
Yeah, he's kind of caught in a pickle. They're all aiming their weapons at each other. He's got the fingers on the trigger, and this is the one moment where he actually exercises some good judgment here to try to de-escalate, because everything up to now he's escalating everything, but shit's fucking crazy now. So he actually seems like he can be reasoned with a little bit, but he just really hates Brian. Yeah. I mean, he's fucking 17-year-old kid, you asshole. 17. He's a teenager. How much can you really hate a teenager?
Oh God, love this scene so much.
Oh yeah, in the mask, like underneath the suit, great.
But yeah, and then he pulls him down so hard he snaps the gun in half.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Dr. Meadows fucking karma catches up with him, I guess. Look, this guy's got grenades strapped to his chest.
Yeah, I love how he's supposed to be some sort of like medic or whatever.
Yeah, he's supposed to be some sort of like enlightened scientist, and he's got like Rambo style fucking grenades strapped to his fucking chest.
Jesus. Firing into that tube.
This is a like super macho moment. What's the catch line here? I can't remember. I really enjoyed it earlier today. It's like such a fucking like action star line he says. Like, suck on this, you pile of slime, or some stupid shit like that. Little do they know, it only makes the Blob more pissed off. So you just made the situation worse.
Oh yeah. This is such a good turning point for the whole thing. It was so great.
This guy's like, I'm a hero.
He's like hearing this growling and the shaking and everything. Goddamn, they bent the manhole cover. Even though I'm sure it's plastic or whatever, that's still really intimidating looking.
Well, I'm sure a bazooka would do that to a manhole cover.
Oh yeah.
In the very least. They're like, oh yeah, we fucked up. Awesome. Thing like fucking tripled in size.
Oh God. Well, and also a really weird thing I noticed just now is like, oh wait,
that dude has got some balls. Like he's just like a nom. Like he must have served a nom or something, because he just like fuck it. He like pulls the pins out on the grenades. And
you see little lights in the blob there, and it looks like you can see them explode for a second. They do nothing to him.
Yeah, I love this. With the stop motion with the tentacles and Great stuff. I love it.
Oh, it's so much fun. But yeah, what I was trying to say is, like, you know, Brian's shirt is the appropriate amount of dirty for coming out of a sewer. Not like Die Hard where like it was white and then all of a sudden it's brown.
Oh yeah. That's one of those things I always notice about Die Hard. That and like the fucking glass in his feet and stuff.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that was it was pretty quick. Like, was he like crawling around like ventilation shafts or something?
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, that wife beater got like he was mud wrestling or something. Like, what the hell?
Yep.
Oh, love this moment with the flamethrower.
Yeah, just boom.
Yeah, the blob plugs the hole, which is interesting too, because it's like, how intelligent is the blob? How would it know to do that? You know, but it causes it to explode on the guy, and then it jumps over to the priest and stuff, and priest is on fire.
Yeah, and even that fire stunt, that guy. I mean, it looks like he was in a plastic suit on fire. I mean, I would have loved to see how they would have done that, because that's complicated as shit, man. In a hazmat suit,
they had to have done.
Else.
They probably had a guy in a fire suit inside of one of those suits, and they just lit it on fire. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. This crescendo. What do you call it? Pinnacle scene, whatever. Right up there with Night of the
Creeps.
Night of the Creeps. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of flamethrowers, you know, a lot of fun action. The Snowmaker.
Like they're all in one building and they're not really leaving. Like,
yeah,
so they're back out of this building. You can just kind of like, you know, go to the other side, like.
Yeah, there's windows. I mean, it's the city town hall or something, and it's like, you know, if you ever been in one of those in small town USA, like they're all kind of the same kind of format, and like, yeah, they got a back door, they got windows. It's like, but they're barricading themselves in from the blob. The blob's like overtaking the building. Oh, here comes this. Oh yeah, look.
Oh jeez.
The reverse, like I don't know what you call that death. They did it in Friday the 13th reboot as well with the bed.
Yeah, they did.
That's a good one because, you know, it's just like it gives you the heebie-jeebies.
Oh yeah, because that's a horrible way to go.
You're like, oh, your body's not supposed to bend that way.
Oh gosh.
Cool shot, man. Really cool. I'd be really interested to see how they did that, like with a miniature or, you know.
Yeah. What do they use for it and everything?
Yeah, like how do they make that blob? Like, you know, how they puppet that, or they must have made something and then have found a way to manipulate it, and then they superimpose it in, and like, it looks really good.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm definitely have to check the special features out on the Blu-ray and figure out all the cool stuff.
The blob reminds, in this movie, the way to design it reminds me a lot of, like, you ever look at the underside of your tongue in the mirror? Like, that's basically what it looks like, a giant tongue. But the underside is like all sides of it, and then like it's acidic, so it just digests right into.
Makes sense.
It's just one giant like digestive system of some sort. That's cool too. I like that stringy body.
Yeah, it's like it's just melted. He's melted. He's just melted.
His arms just like bubble gum.
Oh jeez.
Like melted cheese or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So now she goes full on G.I. Jane here. She's got, you know, she's pretty heavy in the action. She's basically the action star of this movie. This time she's rescuing him. So there's like a little switcheroo, which is, you know, I'm cool with. I think she's it's a little cheesy, but it's fun, you know.
Oh yeah.
Now she's got to save him. She's got one of those explosive. I don't know. It's like C2 or something. I don't know what it is. I'm not an explosive expert, but she's trying to blow the truck up. It's the giant tank with all the CO2 snow bullshit or whatever in it.
Yeah, liquid nitrogen or whatever. So
this moment is a little convoluted with her catching her boot on a hose on the truck. But then he's got to save her and nice. So one thing that does bother me about this movie is I don't believe that whatever's contained in that truck tank it would be enough to completely shut down the blob and like cause this like all of a sudden this like massive like wintry snowstorm.
Well, they're copying. I think this is also a callback, or they're copying a little bit of Terminator 2, because you had liquid nitrogen like come over the T-1000, and then he turned to to little like ice cubes or whatever, and then he got melted because they were the steel mill. So I think it's kind of that same mentality almost.
Yeah, but they would have copied this movie because I think Terminator.
That's true.
2
No, you're
was
right. You're right.
Like 91 or 92 or something.
You're right. Yeah. I always think Terminator 2 happens in the 80s. I don't know why I think that. I always do.
Yeah, it must have been really early 90s. So sometimes you get it confused, but I mean the concept of it works. It's just that it doesn't seem like the physics of it make any sense, kind of like the bazooka moment. But hey, whatever. It's not supposed to be like, you're not supposed to be questioning these things. It's kind of just like, just go with it.
Yeah, exactly.
You think they would have had like figured out an excuse to have like a liquid nitrogen truck spill or explode or something. That would have made more sense. It's like your basic like fucking ski snow, your snow maker. I don't think would be cold enough. But maybe, shit. I mean, just some ice cubes from the fucking ice cube machine earlier on that did the trick. So obviously they were trying to. This guy's had an epiphany, and apparently he's he's soldiering for God now, and it shows his face. He's all burned up. This is the priest I'm talking about, by the way. They're trying to set up a sequel, obviously. Otherwise, what's the point of putting this in? And because he doesn't really say anything too important to what's already happened, but they shows him lifting up the little jar with the couple blob crystals. Why would they still be crystals, by the way?
Oh, no, they're not crystals. They're actually like moving around in the jar.
Oh, are they? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're trying to get us ready for Blob 2, and just never happened. I'd be interested to hear like why that never. Maybe this movie just bombed or something. But can you look up and see like what the take on the movie was?
Yeah. Let me see. Let's go to Wikipedia here. Okay, the budget was $10 million and the box office was 8.2, so that's probably why there was no part 2.
Yeah,
because I mean it sucks because it's a wonderful movie and it's really good. It's really well put together. It's just everything in it was really good. It's very 80s. Mm-hmm. The characters are well developed. The monster is amazing. I mean, there's a few things here or there, but I mean that's because it was made in '88. Mm-hmm. But other than that, I mean, it's a really solid movie.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it never gets boring. And
no. Like you said earlier, the pacing is wonderful, and everything that happens in it is just great. Obviously, a few things here and there you got to stretch the imagination, but once again, '88, it's fine. But it's still once again, it's a solid movie. It's a solid movie all the way through.
It'll get remade again eventually, and they'll be all CGI and all that bullshit. Are people gonna be impressed by a fucking CGI blob? It's kind of like it's gonna be boring. you know?
Yeah, and it's one of those things where like I hope they don't remake it just because this one was so good. It's like just praise this one. Give us a 4K release of it. Give us some toys of the characters or whatever. Like just do that, you know?
Yeah, but they remake good stuff all the time. It's like they remade Pet Sematary. It's like, why?
Jeez, did you watch that? Did you watch that remake?
Yeah, and I watched the remake, and I didn't think it was like atrocious, but it's like if you compare it to the original, which I love,
yeah,
it just sucks. It's just like not even close. So it's like they're like, we'll throw this movie together, get a couple big names in there, and we'll make some money off the name. You know that's what it is. So
yeah, and you know, and like the way that they kind of like did that whole twist thing where instead of like the little boy getting killed, it was the older daughter, and even then, like I hate to say it, but like the intent, I didn't feel anything when that daughter got killed because I think they showed it's weird because they showed too much. In the original one, they show very little. And that's what really solidifies it. You have the father yelling. You have that little. I think what does it for me is a shot of the shoe doing that slow motion turn with the blood on it.
Yeah.
When you see that, that is like more than enough, and you're like, oh,
and it's
happened.
like the dad's reaction, you know, like when Gage gets hit by that Big Mac truck. It's like, you know, letting you fill in the gaps with your mind and the horror of the moment. Yeah, I mean, I love Pet Sematary, the original. It's just such a fun movie, and it's like they remade it as just like a lesser version of it. So it's just that they don't know. The people making these movies, they don't give a shit. They don't care. They don't know what, you know, they don't know what makes movies like Pet Sematary good. They just go, okay, I'm contracted to make this for the studio, and it's gonna, you know, whatever. It'll be what it is. They always underestimate their audience, you know, so it ends up being garbage, just like Ghostbusters reboot or whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, so to get back to the Blob, this is always going to be a favorite of mine. It's always one of those ones I really like that I just never really watched that much, and I don't know why. It's like there's certain like movies, horror movies, that pick up really well in certain times of year. So obviously, like, you know, I'm going to watch a bunch of Halloween movies around Halloween. I'm going to watch Friday the 13th around summertime. You know, Freddy Krueger, I guess that's a little bit more user-friendly in terms of that. But I know there's certain movies that I think about during a certain time of year. The Blob I don't really think about unless I'm in the mood for a movie that's going to be like, gonna give me like a nostalgia feels for like a drive-in movie. Like it'd be a great movie to show in the backyard with your inflatable movie screen or something, you know.
Oh yeah, definitely. And you know, we get. I think this also, you know, talking about we mentioned Night of the Creeps a little bit here and there, and I think it's almost with that where it's like you have a lot of these elements like in the movie that come together really well. The same with you know, Night of the Creeps, where there's a lot of elements in that one that they go through that come together very well in the end, and it's they're both like wonderful movies in that aspect where you have so much going on and they tie it together in a nice little bow. You know, it's really good.
Yeah, Night of the Creeps, The Blob, perfect double feature. You know, pair those up. You know, it's like wine and cheese. Night of the Creeps is such an awesome like Fred Decker love letter to B-minus horror movies of days gone by. Because it's got a little bit of everything in there, you know. It's got the space meteor, it's got the fucking zombies, it's got, you know, it's the slugs and all kinds of creepy shit, and you know, it's got the modern elements of the 80s with the frat houses and all that, and I love fucking Night of the Demons, man. Like, I mean, I need to rewatch that too. But yeah, The Blob is fucking 10 out of 10. As far as I'm concerned, hope they don't need to remake this. I would like to see now if they want to continue the story along and make a second one, by some, you know, maybe a director writer pair up and they make something that is a love letter to this. That's The Blob 2. Bring it on. I'm down for that, but don't remake the story again. I think it's 2 incarnations are enough.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, I think you have almost an infinite amount of time to do a part 2 for this because of the way the blob functions. You could say, oh, it was hidden away in some ice facility somewhere, and the U.S. government knew about it, and it's this conspiracy thing, and all of a sudden it gets out or whatever. You could do a whole thing with that, or any sort of thing like that. Hell, you could even use that vault, that seed vault in Switzerland. Maybe it got too warm and it escaped or something.
Yeah, I mean, I think
like
that the easiest point of entry would be with the priest,
Oh yeah, man.
And, maybe he passed away and he handed it down, or it's been buried under the floorboards at the local parish or something. And, super easy to write. And I just don't think that I don't think that it's popular enough for the studios to go, yeah, let's spend a bunch of money on it,
Yeah.
It's just, the movie horror dorks like me and you will love it, but the average normie is gonna go, the Blob isn't like some 50s movie. Like, I don't give a shit, What have you been watching lately? What's on your TV, or have you gone to go see any movies at all, or?
No, man, nothing really. Because I mean, it's just difficult to go do stuff these days. So it's been a little rough. But no, I watched what is it? I watched Blood Vessel from Shudder the other day.
I watched it too.
Yeah,
what'd you think about that?
I liked it, but it's one of those things where it's like, whenever they mix the occult, or they have like some sort of weird Nazis did this, they did experiments on people, or they did occult stuff. It's always, to me, it always seems a little tame. And it's always like the last third of the movie you find out what it is, and it's like, I want it to be at least half the movie. I want and when you do experiments and weird shit like that, like, show me, like, I want to see people. I want to see like weird mutants in in glass jars and shit. I want to see really, really weird shit, not just like glimpses of weird shit. Give me the weird shit.
Yeah, in the movie,
maybe maybe an alien ship crash and they're like dissecting them or something, or picking their brains, or they're mixing people together with other things. Like, just give me some really weird shit,
Yeah, the movie was all right. Like, the first half of the movie is super boring.
Oh yeah.
And it's like kind of dumb because it's like you have this like motley crew of like random people floating around in a raft together, and it's like, how these people come together. So they're really weird, and then like they just happen upon, like, the ocean's very big. This is something I can't speak of, having been in the Navy, is the ocean is gigantic. So the chances of them just bumping into a abandoned Nazi cruiser like that, super rare. Whatever, it's a movie. But the point is that they get on the boat, and it's just kind of like, oh yeah, apparently Nazis found some vampires. Like, the vampire characters themselves were interesting, I guess, kind of. Like, I like the look of them and stuff, but they didn't really do anything that menacing. It's like the best thing they could do was like mind meld with people on the board and like kind of control them or whatever. But it was like a little bit lacking. It wasn't terrible, but I mean, for a Shudder produced movie, I thought it was all right. And I just don't really have any interest in watching it again. It doesn't really challenge me as a horror fan that much. But
yeah.
Anything else? What else?
What is it? I recently caught one called "You Might Be the Killer." I think it was on Sci-Fi or something. And I've watched that 4 times now. I love that movie. It's basically cool. It's a deconstruction of like a Friday the 13th, and it's so much fun. It's so witty. It's so it's something that does challenge you, and it's like, man, this is so good. It's so much fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's cool because there's been a bunch of like new horror movies, slasher-esque type movies that kind of do that subvert your expectations thing, where like they kind of just take the premise and flip it on its head, where like they come up with something fresh and unique. They're like, oh, let's make a slasher, but what if like the guy doesn't know he's the killer, kind of thing. And yeah, I have seen that, and I did enjoy it. I thought it was pretty cool. I like the kind of banter between the guy and the girl, and because he's like calling his like wannabe girlfriend at the store she works at. She's like giving him advice while he's like running around this camp murdering people, and yeah, that's a fun one. So I actually totally forgot about that. So to go back and rewatch it because it came out I think in like 2018 or something. It's been out for a few years.
Yeah. I just recently found it because I saw the two characters who were in it, and they were from Buffy or whatever, and I was like, I want to watch this, and I was very very happy with it, and I had to buy it, man. I loved it.
Nice. What else to see? I've been obviously watching a ton of shit. Like I said, American Horror Story 1984 has been really good so far. Ratchet, I really liked a lot. It was just like hit all the bases for me. I mean, it's really drama heavy, but it's very. I thought it was going to be more like soap opera ish, and it does have elements of that in it, but it's pretty dark. Like some really disturbing shit happens in it. It's very horror, oriented. Sarah Paulson does a great job in it. It was really cool. And, it was just kind of like, it was fun. It gave you a lot to enjoy in every episode. So, check out Ratchet if you haven't seen that. There's this movie on Tubi I watched the other night called The Suckling.
Okay.
Which is a really low budget 80s movie. If you've ever wanted to see an aborted fetus that gets dropped into the sewer, that gets hit by toxic waste and then becomes a monster and terrorizes a bunch of people and prostitutes in a house, definitely check out The Suckling.
That sounds awesome. I'm going to check that out.
Yeah, it's twisted, dude. I was like, what the fuck is this? I was like, The Suckling, first of all, that's a fucked up name. It reminded me, it had like John Waters vibes in it. It was like pretty raunchy. But it's funny. It's not particularly really good, but it's definitely like so bad it's good. Kind of like, it's a mind fuck. It's just you can't believe the movie got made. So I saw Psycho Cop, which I thought was disappointing. All the unlikable characters and whatnot, and the Psycho Cop himself really wasn't really that menacing. I haven't seen Psycho Cop 2 yet. I watched Maniac Cop 1 and 2, that's a franchise I'm not super familiar with. So
yeah,
I've been watching those. Really like them. Psycho Cop 2 Maniac Cop 2 was actually better than I thought it would be. It was actually a fun movie. Went and saw Friday the 13th, the original, in the movie theater at AMC.
Oh, nice.
So that was cool because I'd never seen it on the big screen before. And that movie you have to be a horror fan to love because it's really slow compared to like how movies work now. But it was, you see a movie different when you see it in the theater. So I really enjoyed that. And other than that, man, I just picked up, Friday the 13th Part 3 in 3D. I finally saw because I got the box set. Like I got the
nice! You got the big ass box set.
Yeah, I got the pre-order from Shout, so it's Scream Shout. I got the $160 one with the two like posters in it and stuff. And I've never seen Friday the 13th Part 3 in 3D before, so I have a 3D movie projector. So I finally got to watch that as it was intended, and it was actually pretty fucking cool. Like there was a lot more. You see the movie and you see the parts in the movie like where the guy's like aiming the pole or the baseball bat at the camera. Like it's like so cheesy. Like obviously supposed to be 3D. And there's a lot in the movie that you don't realize actually pops out during the movie and stuff. So it was a better experience than I thought it was going to be. So really enjoyed that. That was cool. And I just got Jaws 3D. The Jaws 3D, the Jaws 3 Blu-ray has the 3D version on it. Now, if you buy the Jaws Blu-ray that has like 1, 2, 3 on there, it doesn't have the 3D version, but the Jaws 3D Blu-ray has the version. So I'm gonna check that out probably sometime next week, and maybe do a review on it or something. But
yeah, man, if you can, send me a link for that. I want to buy that.
Yeah, it's on Amazon. Just Google Jaws 3 Blu-ray, and I think it was only like $10 or something. It wasn't that much.
That's
money.
not bad.
I love Jaws 3D. I know a lot of people like shit on it, but it's like anything after 2. I actually like it better than 2. 2 annoys the shit out of me. the girl screaming in the boat, like in the last half of the movie, really turns me off to the movie. And it's just really not that interesting of a movie. Jaws 3D is actually kind of campy and fun and silly, and it's got terrible 3D effects and stuff. But it'll be interesting to see how they work with the glasses on and stuff. So, yeah. But other than that, man, I just go through Tubi and I try to find old 80s movies and try to see if they're any good. Like a lot of them, I'd only make it like halfway through and I'm like, this is terrible. But
yeah, oh yeah, some of them are just really, really horribly. But yeah, I do the same stuff, man. I just remove it from my history after a little bit. I'm like, I don't want to watch this again. I don't want to be reminded of this.
Yeah, but every now and then you stumble across a hidden gem. And Tubi, if you have a Amazon Fire Stick, it's all free. So you do have to sit through some commercials on there. They have like ads, but if you just want to like try to go through a bunch of horror movies quickly and see if you can find some good stuff, occasionally you do find something really good. So I would recommend that. But so yeah, man, let's wrap the show up. We're heading into 2 hours here. You want to plug anything that you've been doing?
I mean, just the normal stuff, man. Every Thursday I do World Class Bullshitters with Dion, Kendo, and Jeff. Thursday, it's 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We take a dump in the world of pop culture. Check us out.
Yeah, that's you guys are like hugely popular around the pop culture YouTube channel community and stuff. And I got to get Jeff back. Maybe we could do another Indiana Jones movie or something.
Yeah, definitely. I think he's gonna start. I think he's gonna start Twitch streaming an Indiana Jones game here soon. So yeah, you better give him a call.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Jeff and Nick did Temple of Doom together like a couple years ago, and that was a lot of fun, man. Like,
oh yeah.
I think that shot was such an easy movie to do a commentary.
Oh yeah, dude. Because it's so good. It's so good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was making the argument that you could say Temple of Doom is kind of technically a horror movie. It's pretty gruesome if you think about it. Like people getting their hearts ripped out and shit.
Oh yeah.
People getting eaten by alligators. I mean, it's pretty gnarly, dude.
Oh, definitely.
But anyway, yeah. So check out Nick's YouTube channel, The World Class Bullshitters. You got some podcasts going or other YouTube channels or?
No, man, not anymore. I might start doing something next year, but not anything right now.
You simplified it down, man. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Hopefully next year when the shit lifts, we can get together at a horror con somewhere. Because I know we were talking about maybe doing that this year, and then everything just got canceled. So, we'll have to. I don't know. Maybe schedule something for 2021 if we get lucky and a vaccine comes out, then we can actually go hang out somewhere together.
I'm looking forward to it, man. You have no idea. I need to get out of the house and get a change of scenery real bad.
Yeah, dude. I gotta do at least like one horror con a year, or else.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I miss it, but stay positive, be optimistic, and dude, thanks so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate
man, no problem.
You're just such an easy hang. Like you're a really good co-host, so I really appreciate it. Whenever you come on, you're like I always say, you're always an honorary member of the show. Like you're on here probably more than anybody else, and so maybe we'll find somebody to interview soon or something. But
oh yeah, I'm always down to do those, man. That's always a lot of fun.
Yeah, I don't think I've interviewed anybody this year, and I know Chuck Serenos was interested, and he'd be a great guy to talk to. But anyway, so dude, thanks for coming on, and for all you guys out there listening, please subscribe to the YouTube channel and leave some feedback, some comments. And also check out horrorphilia.com. It's one of the greatest networks for horror podcasts out there. And it's closing down in February. So all the content there on horrorphilia.com is free. And go in there and just download everything that you can for free before it's all gone in February. So I'm going to try to get the show to 100 episodes by February. This is episode 70, so got a lot of work to do. but that's to your benefit because there'll be a lot more content coming. And as always, guys, stay awesome, stay R-rated. Cheers. Hey, what's up, everyone? Josh here. Just want to say thanks so much for listening to the show. We really do appreciate it. And if you enjoyed the content, please hit the like button. And go ahead and subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. We'd love to have you on board. Lots of great content coming in 2020. And we just really enjoy the community over here and enjoying pop culture together. So if you get a chance, hit subscribe. Really appreciate it. And until next time, guys, stay awesome, stay R-rated. Cheers.